In 2011, while investigating the suspicious hanging death of Raynard Johnson of Kokomo, Mississippi for the Injustice Files, we stumbled across a small southern hamlet called Morgantown. There, I was repeatedly warned not to step foot in this town after dark because of the color of my skin. I later learned that Morgantown is a sundown town. Sundown towns were all-white communities where African Americans were not allowed to live or be in after dark.
And get some fucking milkshakes and fried ass chicken. Fucking KFC got some fried chicken. You know what? She's a nigga too.
Who?
Fucking Missy Elliott.
White Anderson in a hotel parking lot as he first comes into view in the lower right corner of the screen. This is after he was beaten, according to law enforcement officials. He staggers into the headlights of Mr. Dedman's truck. The truck backs up and surges forward suddenly, running right over the defenseless man.
Unfortunately, when we discuss African-American unemployment, there's this tendency to want to talk about education, there's this tendency to want to talk about where jobs are and where jobs aren't. But we know from many match pair examples where we take two people, same resume, and send them to the employer, we know that you get different outcomes when the employer can identify the applicant as being African-American. That level of discrimination can only be chased away by a tight labor market.
Five hours after the House passes the measure, the Civil Rights Act of 1964 is signed at the White House by President Johnson. Before an audience of legislators and civil rights leaders who had labored long and hard for passage of the bill, President Johnson calls for all Americans to back what he calls a turning point in history.
We must not approach the observance and enforcement of this law in a vengeful spirit. Its purpose is not to punish. Its purpose is not to divide, but to end divisions, divisions which have lasted all too long. Its purpose is national, not regional. This Civil Rights Act is a challenge to all of us to go to work in our communities and our states, in our homes and in our hearts, to eliminate the last vestiges of injustice.
So we got major problems. That's the second thing, is dealing with this influx of immigrants.
And what I'm telling you is that they're not coming in here to be your partner or your ally. They're coming in to compete with you. And your black organization and your black leadership in this country is afraid to teach black folk how to compete with all these other groups. And they're afraid because they keep trying to create allies with them. You cannot ally with anybody who's planning on supplanting you.
Your Excellency, I want to say something about the Negroes.
Thank you, everybody.
Thank you, Paul. Thank you, guys.
Yeah.
Let's go. Stop booming, James.
Not the way. Get the fuck off my goddamn car.
Yeah, I'm just trying to figure out like why is it that black guys like white girls so much? Like why do you what the fuck? Why do you think?
Well, the benefits are.
The benefits? What the fuck? All right, come on. The benefits?
Yeah. The
Why you
reason
talk,
why black men like white girls is
why you talking
because
so low? I can't hear you.
we
What?
don't have to pay for our hair and it's real.
Oh shit. What? You're gonna
And while we're having sex, they don't have to worry about pulling out a track.
By some estimates, have founded 40% of Fortune 500 companies.
Together, those companies employ about 10 million people around the world and are responsible for $4 trillion in revenue.
Research by the Fiscal Policy Institute also shows that while making up just 16% of the labor force, immigrants own 28% of so-called mainstream businesses, like grocery stores, barbershops, and gas stations, pumping the much-needed lifeblood into struggling post-industrial cities across the Rust Belt.
Negroes need to get clear. America is their homeland, not Africa. While they are complacent, not interested in current affairs, don't care how they have to depend on others for their survival, those other people are quietly replacing them on their own land. We don't have 50 more years to twerk, fight each other, hate on our natural counterparts. Immigrants are replacing us at a furious rate. These people come to the United States with the drive of PhDs making things happen, while Negroes exist on a remedial pre-kindergarten level. It was us who set the standards for excellence before civil rights. But now we're existing as shadows of our former selves. Wake up and make a way for your people, because we cannot exist without helping each other. Time to fortify ourselves and stop the financial wealth building at our expense by immigrants. Create your own jobs and rebuild our communities. Force out of our communities foreign businesses by creating and supporting our people as the competition. Negroes spend $1.4 trillion annually. What if we spent that money with our own people? Do you know we will quell the invasion of our land in short order? Are you one of the many Negroes who say they cannot stand their own people? Go get mental help to help you deal with your self-hate. There is no sitting back on this massive flow of people running over us on our own land. It is all of our problem, like it or not. These people are playing for keeps, which will mean discrimination against us is about to increase many folds.